Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. In this video I wanted to take a look at the Team Covenant's Lord of the Rings LCG wooden tokens. Now what you see here is the 4-player set. This set is on their website for $100. And when I was trying to make my decision on whether I wanted to purchase tokens or not, well, I knew that I wanted to, but whether I wanted to spend the money on Team Covenants or look at something else, as I was doing research, one thing I couldn't find was a video on these tokens that was not done by Team Covenant. And while their video is very descriptive and good if you have seen it, I felt that the video was also very raw as in that they're trying to sell you a quality token. However, I didn't feel that their video was very non-biased or only pointed out the good things and maybe some of the other things that you're considering on whether you want to spend this much money, because it's $100 for the 4-player set and that's a lot of money. And so I decided to make a video in which we would take a look at these tokens and talk about some of the pros and cons I have found with my set. Some of the pros: these tokens are very well done. They're highly detailed. Let's just put a couple on the card here. The different types of tokens have a different edging on the tokens. So the money tokens, for example, represent these diamonds, they have writing on the edges of them. Whereas the tokens meant for questing will have this little squiggly line on the edge of it. Tokens meant for damage, for example, they have the very rough edges. They've actually been carved down and they have a very dark edge around them. And then there's 4 different types: the sword, the axe, the arrow, and the spear. Now one of the cons that I found with this set is that because they were done in wood, which looks really nice, they also look very similar on the card, and so I wanted to put the different types on the card for you so you can see. Now at first this did bother me a little bit, but as I've played with these, my eyes just catch these borders now, and on the damage you can see the damage on the corners have very dark edgings to them as compared to the resource and the questing have a very light edge on them. So my eyes, I've just trained them to start to look at the borders more, and now when I have different types of tokens on the cards, I don't even notice anymore. I can just pick it right up. Another one of the cool things about this set is the 1st-player token. This is one of my favorite tokens. Something that they mentioned in the video is that there's 9 edges on this token, which is not on the original core set, which is a cool idea, kind of a tip the hat to the 9 walkers out of Rivendell. Also, the backpack I thought was a very good choice for this card. Okay, the next are the eyeballs. The eyeballs are just kind of a cool universal. I use them for time a lot. They tell you to give a time counter. They don't really have a specific declaration to them. What they do though is they offer you a miscellaneous token which you can use on anything. Now on the damage tokens, as you see, there are 4 different types of damage tokens. There's the axe, the sword, the arrow, and the spear. The tokens look very nice. Like we said earlier, they have the dark edges on them, and it does differentiate them from the other tokens. However, I think one of the cons of these tokens is even in the 4-player set, you only get 9 of each type of token. And I contacted Team Covenant before I purchased mine, and you cannot switch out the options. As of the time recording this, that the tokens that they came with were set in the price. And the discount for purchasing a set instead of purchasing the individual tokens is so much of a difference that it just didn't make sense to me to buy individual tokens. So that's something that I kind of find a con into this, as damage tokens trying to insert 4 different kinds is kind of cool thematically, but if you want to play thematically, even in the 4-player set, you only receive 9 of each type, and so you're still not realistically able to play with thematic. Let's say you want to play dwarves and you want to run axes, for example. Well, you only have 9, so across a 4-player board, even 1 player, you can struggle with that quantity. And that brings me to another pro and con, which I find mostly in the big tokens in the set. The pro being that in these resource ones, you have 3 resources. So from time to time, you will have that many resources, especially with Stewards of Gondor. It is nice to help clean up your cards. The con I find though is you gain 12 of these tokens in the 4-player set, and I find that a bit wasteful. I've never used close to half of these. I mean, I feel if you're having that many resources on your heroes, it's probably time to scoop anyways and start a new game, because something's wrong. You should be spending your resources. And so in this, I understand a 4-player game, you have 12 heroes, so then all 12 could have all 3 resources. But like I said earlier, if you ever run into that, you're probably already lost and ready to scoop anyway. So I found this quantity a bit wasteful, and I would have preferred to have more damage tokens in exchange for less of the 3 money tokens. And then we move on to the big tree. The tree is meant for questing, and it can be used for, say, 3 quests or 5 quests. It's just like the other resource token. It's going to help reduce the amount of tokens on a card, and that is really helpful and makes it faster and easier to count. Really like how these tokens look. The big tree and the circles around the edges, the border helps differentiate them. But as with the money resources, I also find that they give you 7 of these. So using at 5, that's just a lot of resource. I feel the same way as you probably included 4 or 5 of these in a 4-player set, and you would have had plenty to play the game with, and you could have used more of different types. Okay, next are the single resource, the money tokens. And these are very nice. They're probably my favorite besides the eye, and because they're also using them a lot, taking them on and off. But I really like how the diamond looks and the writing on the edges. I find it to be very thematic, and a token that I like to see on the cards. This was probably the token. This token and the eye token were probably the ones that got me more than any other to purchase the set. And then finally we have the leaf tokens. And these leaf tokens are meant to be a single quest point, and then you can combine them on to use them for the big tree. One of the things I thought was cool, the reason why I put the tree back on this, is because you have a tree and then you have a leaf for the trees, right? So you combine them, you have a full tree. I thought that was a pretty cool idea by them, and I thought it works very well for this game. And the leaves themselves, I find these tokens to be very nice, as with all the rest of the tokens. My overall thought in this video is I went ahead and I bought the 4-player set, which is $100, and that is a lot of money. Although I've played this game enough, I really didn't like the tokens that you get in the original core set, and I wanted something nicer. These were by far the best tokens that I could find out there on the market, and even though the cost of $100 is quite expensive, I found it worth it in as much as I played this game. As of right now, this is my favorite game. It's the one I play the most. And so to me it was worth it, but that'd be up to each individual. If you're looking for a cheaper option, they certainly are out there. So I hope this video helped you take a look at the tokens, gave you an unbiased opinion on the tokens, and will help you make you decide whether you purchase tokens in the future or not. So thank you for watching, and see you next time.